6, I'm Jim Fuller.
And I'm Amelia Marquez. In tonight's news, we'll get an update on the search for a new Tullahoma City administrator, and we'll bring you highlights from last Friday's Tullahoma High School graduation. We'll have these stories and more on tonight's Newsleader on 6.
The day the Lord created hope could be the same day He created spring.
Springtime's here. It's a good time to get our air conditioners checked out before those hot summer days get here. We've been here for a little over 35 years. It's been our pleasure to serve our community. We'd like to thank you for Tullahoma's finest, and from all of us to all of you.
Thank you!
Keith Barnett here at Russell Barnett Ford at Tullahoma and Winchester. Check out the Ford Fusion, 0% financing up to 72 months and $1,500 cash back. Or the Ford Fiesta for $13,995. And my question is, why buy your next Ford anywhere else?
Cool off at Southern Middle Tennessee's newest water park, Tullahoma's Splash Island. Fun for all ages. 3 25-foot water slides, lazy river, fun water features for toddlers, tasty food items available. All this and more, only $5 from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. or 4 to 9 p.m. Sundays 1 to 6. Join the fun at Tullahoma's Splash Island.
Welcome back. Tullahoma is looking for a new city administrator following the retirement of Jody Baltz last month. Human Resources Director Costa Bryce recently updated the board of mayor and aldermen on the progress of the search.
Thank you, Mayor. We started recruiting for the city administrator's position about 6 weeks ago. The position closed on May 1st, and we received 48 applications. We recruited and actually posted the position with MTAS, the International City Managers Association, Tennessee Municipal League, locally as well. So what we have done at this point is we have put together a citizens search committee. As you're aware, the mayor asked for recommendations for that committee to serve, individuals to serve on that board. So we have, Dr. Frank Glass, retired former Motlow president. We have Howard Tucker, who is also retired. He was the HR director at MTech. We have Patricia Burks-Jelks. She's the HR director for UTSI. We also have with us Brian Gagnier. He is a store manager at Lowe's. And then also Joe Abraham. He is a general manager with Bowman Broadcasting. So we met initially, and Hannah Rogers did a bit of a short training session. We distributed the resumes, and we are going to be individually reviewing and scoring those applicants and ranking them to determine our top candidates. We'll get together, decide who those top candidates are, and then narrow those down. Optimally, giving the top 3 candidates to the mayor for your consideration. In order to get to that point, once we narrow it down, say to whether it's the top 8 or the top 10, we'll have video conferencing interviews and be able to, again, use that process to hopefully give you all the best candidates to consider for this position. We're hoping we'll be able to do that within the next 3 weeks. So that's our general time.
Tullahoma High School held their 2018 graduation ceremonies last Friday night at Wilkins Stadium. This year's senior class president and salutatorian Bradley Holmes spoke to his classmates and the crowd.
Hi, my name is Bradley Holmes, and I'm the senior class president and salutatorian for the class of 2016. That information and $6 will get you a Frappuccino at Starbucks. Sam makes a good point. This is a scary part in our lives, spiders notwithstanding. And for that, I want to offer a solution to you. You're under no obligation to adopt it, and there's really nothing that gives me any expertise. What is simply true is that each one of us has accomplished numerous things while at THS. Many of us have different ways of approaching challenges, and I thought I ought to just tell you guys what works for me. Here it is. Fight and win your battles in your mind first. That's it, plain and simple. Countless times I've been scared of failing, and what I've learned from that is the best way to succeed externally is to conquer internally. I think this is best illustrated by this story. So there was this guy, this tree trunk thigh-sized guy named Cole Bedingfield, and he used to swim for Franklin County. I kept losing to him. He had me every single time because I mentally lost to him. I would look at the race sheets, and I would see his name, and I'd freeze up. I wouldn't know what to do. I'd go into the race, and I'd come out below him every single time. As I kept racing him, I learned that the thought of him being, 6 feet tall, pure muscle, impossible to defeat, that's what was defeating me in the first place. It all culminated in this one race last year at States. I had been training for the 200-yard freestyle my whole season. It was my event. I went in, I warmed up, I did my usual routine. I looked at the race sheets, and who did I see? Cole Bedingfield, in the same heat. But I decided to not let it daunt me. I wasn't scared. I focused on my race and what I needed to do to succeed and make my own time. Since I knew I was ready for it and I focused on my own stuff, I ended up beating him. 0.2 of a second in the pool, but all the world's difference in my mind. Moving forward successfully is tough. We will hear many voices. Some will encourage us and embolden us. Parents, instructors, friends. Some will discourage and shake us. Parents, instructors, and friends. We can't do anything to stop those outside voices, but what we can absolutely do is make that one voice inside our own head be one of self-belief and courage. Sure, it's going to be scary. There will be spiders, but we have been given the tools. We can find the determination and achieve our individual successes. It's all inside our own minds. Decide tonight to make that internal voice one of support and belief, and listen to it for the rest of your life. I, along with the other speakers tonight, wish the absolute best to all you guys. Thank you, and good night.
Stay with us. More Newsleader is coming up after these messages.
Keith Barnett here at Russell Barnett Kia in Tullahoma. I have a few 2017s left that have to go right now. Kia Forte, $14,994. Kia Optima, $19,971. And my question is, why buy your next Kia anywhere else?
All I have to do to think about what I was physically before and what I am now, and I don't ever want to go back to that original situation.
The overall mission of the rehab team is always what is best for the patient and how we can facilitate maximum potential from every resident.
Well, the most important thing to me is that I'm allowed to do whatever I want to do,
Everyday miracles at Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
It's time for every family and business in Tullahoma to go green and recycle. Tullahoma Public Works makes it simple and easy to recycle. Just place your recyclable materials, paper, plastic, aluminum, and cardboard beside your garbage container on the same day your garbage is picked up. Your recycled materials don't have to be in a fancy container. Recycling is not only the right thing to do, it makes sense. Recycling pays. Paying to bury our garbage costs each of us. Please do your part. Let's go green, Tullahoma, and recycle.
Welcome back. This year's THS Senior Class Valedictorian is Sam Usselton. Let's listen to some of his remarks last Friday night.
Hello, my name is Sam Usselton, and I'm the valedictorian for the Tullahoma High School graduating class of 2018. And we have made it through 13 years of school to get to this moment. We went through 6 years of elementary school. We went on to Easter West, where we fought the biggest rivalry of all time. We got to THS, and here we took 4 classes a day, 5 as freshmen, 7 hours a day for 180 weekdays a year for 4 years. Not counting homework or extracurricular activities, just in the last 4 years, we have spent around 5,000 hours at this school. For the last 18 years, most of the big decisions have really been made for us. Where we live, where we go to school, what we study, where we shop, where we go on vacation. But now, it's finally our time to start making big and small decisions. In the next few months, a huge portion of everything in our lives that we have spent around 18 years getting used to will change. Some of us will be going off to college or a technical school. Some of us will just move away. Some will join the military. And some of us will stay here, going to Motlow or getting a job. And many, if not all, of the people who we have made incredibly strong bonds and relationships with, the people who we have called friends, family, peers, acquaintances, teachers, for years, if not over a decade, won't be there with us. Some of us will be completely on our own in a completely alien environment. That is pretty scary to think about. As far as we know, we only have one shot at making this life something worthwhile. And it's all right to be scared about that. I know I am. Ever since I can remember, I've been a worrier. I've been worried about classes, homework, friends, family, college, school clubs, writing a speech for graduation, eating a spider in my sleep. Basically, anything you could think somebody could worry about, I either have worried about it or am worrying about it right now. That's just how I am. And since I'm a worrier, I'm not just worried about the present. Oh no, I am incredibly worried about the future. However, I know that thousands, if not millions, of graduating high school students have been more scared than even the most terrified of us. Change and making decisions and planning the rest of our lives is a scary thing. But these 5,000 hours over the last 4 years haven't been in vain. And we haven't just been learning facts and figures here. Our family, friends, peers, acquaintances, teachers have been teaching us lessons every day of our lives. We've been taught to hang in, hang on, and do the right thing. How to win, how to accept defeat, and how to come back more prepared the next time, whatever the outcome. We know how to work, how to play, how to find humor in most any situation, and how to get through the times when there's nothing funny at all. We've learned by example, good and bad. We've learned how to lean on each other when we need support and how to stand on our own. And yes, we know some facts and figures as well. So, what I said earlier is not entirely accurate. We'll never be completely on our own. We will always have what we've learned here. We will always have the support of our friends, family, peers, acquaintances, teachers. And with these 5,000 hours, we can make our lives something worthwhile. Thank you.
More news is coming up in a moment.
It's not invoice. It's not MSRP. It's not Christmas Day, although it may feel like it. It's the lowest prices in Middle Tennessee, period. Get to Stan McNabb Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram or Stan McNabb Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac before these prices are gone forever.
All right, the cat's out of the bag at Carroll Street Liquor in Tullahoma. Now you know where to go if you're planning a get-together and want the ideal wine or spirit. Party planning can be stressful, but at Carroll Street Liquor you'll find everything you need. Mixers, gift sets, and all of your favorite spirit brands. So if you're feeling the pressure to pull off the ideal party, come to Carroll Street Liquor and select among the seemingly endless supply of wines, spirits, gift sets, and more. Your perfect party, it's in the bag with Carroll Street Liquors.
Welcome back. Tonight we bring you more from the gubernatorial candidate, Bill Lee. In this segment, Mr. Lee responds to the questions from the crowd about the opioid crisis and education.
Could you give us your outlook on what we can do at the state level to help us here at the local level dealing with our pharmaceutical and opiate problem that we have across the state?
Yeah. There's three pieces to that. One of them is this very thing that I'm talking about, which is engage the nonprofit sector in all three of these problems. So government can't solve this problem. It's way too complex and way too big. You know, I'm a guy who believes that we the people self-govern and we the people solve the problem. Government just has to engage we the people in a meaningful way to make sure we address the problems in our communities. But we have three pieces to that. Systemic, that we've made some changes in the legislature, but we got to go deeper and further the whole concept of why are we so overprescribed? Why do we have pain clinics that are bad actors? Why do we have some doctors that are bad actors? This is not a medical, this is not, our medical community is remarkably high quality and great integrity, but there's bad actors in every community. We got to find them. Why is it that we have so many pills in one bottle when we know that a person that's predisposed to this can become an addict in 6 days? So there's a systemic problem that we have to go after. How do we stem the tide of prescription? And what is the pharmaceutical company's responsibility in that? And how do we engage them in being part of the solution, because they clearly were part of the problem? Systemic, and then there's a law enforcement side to it, because prescriptions have turned into fentanyl and heroin, and that's what's killing people. And we need to make Tennessee a place that drug traffickers do not want to come here. Talk about being tough on crime. We need to be stiff, have stiff penalties, no penalty off the table for people that kill our citizens by trafficking drugs. And then there is a rehabilitative and mental health side that we haven't even touched, really. The pendulum swung this way on mental health in this state, and we've got jails filled with mental health patients. And we've got to start thinking hard about how is it that we deal with mental health challenges in our state, which is a part of the opioid epidemic. People become addicts on opioids not just because they have physical pain. They become addicts, and the data is ever increasing. They become addicts because they have trauma. There's some statistics that show that 70% of opioid addicts have a negative adverse childhood experience, whatever that means. But they've got trauma in their lives, and so there's a mental health piece we got to look into. But we have to be aggressive. We can't just do this a little at a time. People are dying every day. 1,600 last year, and we got to be aggressive on all fronts, not one piece, but all fronts.
I'm not an educator, so education is really a passion of mine. So I share that with you, but I would like to hear what your feelings are about early childhood education and where you would like to take the state with that.
I'm married to an educator. My wife Maria taught she was a third grade teacher for many, many years, and so I'm passionate about education too, born in part by this interaction I had with a kid in New York City. But early childhood education is absolutely crucial. In the construction industry, which I'm in, if you don't create a good foundation, then everything above it is going to be in trouble. Same true with a kid. What you do in the early years of a child's education is going to profoundly impact all the work you do in the next grades. The biggest, there's a couple of challenges we have. One, our teacher preparation programs in the state of Tennessee are subpar, and that's not just an opinion. The data shows that we don't deliver teachers prepared appropriately, particularly for early childhood education. And teachers need to have the tools necessary to teach. They need to have the training. They need to have the professional development. They need to have this would be true of all K through 12, but especially in early childhood. They need to have the freedom to be creative and to be innovative, and because they know more than anybody else about teaching. But they have to be well prepared, and our teacher prep programs have to be excellent to attract the best and the brightest. And that doesn't mean we just pay right, because we do have to pay well. We have to be competitive with states around us. Currently, we're not. So teacher pay is important, but you and I know that most really excellent educators are not doing it for the money. They're doing it, of course, everyone wants to be paid for what they do, but they're doing it because of their passion and their heart. So overburdening teachers and creating an environment where they can't thrive is problematic. So we need to prepare them, and then we need to create that environment. We overtest in our schools. I think there's a pretty general awareness of that. I'm a businessman who knows if you don't measure, then you can't improve. So we got to measure. But if you measure too much or measure the wrong thing, then you have a negative impact. on your business, and same on the child. And so we need a reset on that portion of how we educate and how we create an environment in schools. But early childhood education is absolutely critical.
And we'll be right back in just a moment.
Keith Barnett here at Russell Barnett Chevrolet GMC in Winchester. This month only, 2018 Chevrolet Silverados, employee pricing, and up to $6,000 off. And my question is, why buy your next Chevrolet Silverado anywhere else?
We're losing it, Doctor.
Not on my shift. Quickly, brush. Roller.
What a transformation. It's going to be okay.
Okay, nothing.
At Paintworks of Tullahoma, we specialize in domestic emergencies with Martin Senior Paints. You can be the paint doctor too when you treat your home with Martin Senior interior and exterior finishes.
Doctor, we've got another one.
Got you covered.
Paintworks of Tullahoma. Come see the paint doctor, Stat.
Welcome back. Let's watch now this performance by the THS Aristocats as they present their new rendition for Good at last Friday's graduation ceremonies.
of the week this week at the Tullahoma Animal Shelter is a very well-mannered pit bull mix named Blue. He's approximately 11 months old and entered the shelter as a stray. Blue has already been neutered, so his adoption fee is only $10. Blue is amazing with other dogs and children. Be sure to check out the shelter on Facebook for information about upcoming events and fundraisers. Remember, you can help support your local shelter by adopting, donating, or volunteering. For more details, contact Teresa at 454-9580. The Tullahoma Animal Shelter is located at 942 Maplewood Avenue.
The Coffee County Humane Society featured pet this week is Buffy. He is a young, smooth-coated Beagle Basset mix looking for a forever home. The shelter also has many other dogs available for adoption at 1210 Oakdale Street in Manchester. Hours of operation at the shelter are 7:30 a.m. until 2:30 p.m. Monday through Friday and 8 a.m. until 1 p.m. on Saturday. The shelter's phone number is 723-2730. Donations for animal care can be made to the Coffee County Humane Society at P.O. Box 252 in Manchester. Their website is www.coffeehumane.org.
Stay with us. Your weather forecast is coming up next.
5 dealerships, 7 car brands, 1 big clearance sale.
Russell Barnett must make room for incoming summer shipments.
Save hundreds,
even thousands.
From original list on all new and over 800 pre-owned vehicles. Every vehicle is marked down for immediate clearance.
No reasonable offer refused.
All credit applications will be accepted for immediate delivery.
Don't miss the big spring clearance sales event going on right now at the Russell Barnett dealerships, both Tullahoma and Winchester. And my question is, why buy anywhere else?
Here at Manchester Funeral Home, we know the importance of living and working in our local community because it's those families who we serve during their time of need honorably. We believe in supporting local business and offer only 100% Batesville caskets, the best in the industry and a driver of our local economy. If you want straightforward and fair pricing while working with the people you know, choose Manchester Funeral Home, serving your community since 1932. And pre-planning and pre-funding can be the best gift you ever leave your loved ones. Call us to pre-arrange. Manchester Funeral Home, our family caring for your family since 1932.
Welcome back. We'll take a look at your weather forecast at this time, starting with your weather history on this day. Our record high was in 1937 at 92 degrees. The record low was in 1947 at 41 degrees. The average high on this day is 82 and the average low is 59. Partly cloudy weather in the forecast for tonight with a low of around 72. Rain in the forecast for Friday with a high of 91 and a low of 71. Partly cloudy weather expected on Saturday with a high of 92 and a low of 70. And that's our newsletter report for this evening. We invite you to join us each Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 6, 8, and 10 for Newsleader on 6. You have a good evening.
And from all of us at Newsleader 6 wishes you and your families a wonderful weekend. Thank you.